Welcome to Beyond Broken Hungry. Juggling your career, relationships, nutrition, fitness, finance, try to pursue your dreams, and stay sane can be a bit of a struggle. With the help of expertise from a variety of wellness experts and tips and tricks from everyday people, this podcast is here to share it all to make this journey we call life just a little more balanced. I'm stumbling towards wellness right alongside you, and I'm so happy to have you come along this journey. With that in mind, let's jump into this week's episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. I am your host, Dara Sweat. I am finally starting to feel like a human again after having the flu. This past week was like the first week I felt like I could make it through a workout without feeling like my whole body was going to crumble. My recovery is pretty much back in its normal ranges, like pre-flu. And even better in the majority of the time. I've really been trying to prioritize getting more steps in daily and going to bed earlier. As far as my nutrition goals this year, just because of some heartache that I went through at the beginning of the year and then getting the flu, I've just been kind of in true maintenance mode. So my nutrition coach and I have kind of talked, and I was like, look, I don't want to prioritize any cuts right now. I don't really want to do anything crazy. I kind of just want to maintain on a very slow decline, but what are some things that I can focus on to help that overall? And sleep and steps are two of the things that she really wanted me to categorize and make a priority, because I already track, /eat intuitively. It's a little mix of both. Y'all have been along this journey where it's kind of been up and down on the tracking and plate method thing. But I drink plenty of water, rehydration packets every day. So my hydration is on point. My workout schedule for the week is pretty much on point. How I eat for during the week and most weekends on point. So as far as anything else, I was I need something more simple to focus on during this time, because there's just so much going on. So she was like, okay, well, let's try to focus on your sleep and getting steps in. And she was like, I never used to think that the steps were actually important or beneficial, but she was like, you really start to notice a difference in your body composition and your recovery when you are doing that. So obviously I have dogs, so I always walk Bella and Lola and stuff like that every day. But I've been, instead of just going on a quick walk to let them go potty and then go back, in the mornings I have been taking Lola on a much longer walk. So about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the day. And currently I am reading, audiobooking Relentless by Tim Grover. And before, I would just listen to it when I was in the car, because when I would go down to the studio in St. Augustine, it was it's a 45-minute drive, depending on if I'm coming from Doug's or my house. And so I would listen to it in the car because I had the time. But I got to the point where it was I'm only listening to my audiobook once a week. So once I started trying to do the prioritizing the steps in, I was just listening to podcasts. And then I was like, wait, I could use this time to listen to my audiobook. So I've been listening to basically a chapter a day, and they're all about 20 minutes long. So it's kind of been perfect. And so not only am I getting that, that movement in, that extra movement, the extra, steps, and getting my steps in, I'm also getting all of this motivation because Tim Grover is just a freaking genius. I'm listening to this and taking notes while I'm walking, and I'm literally going to buy the book, because I'm just I need to read this again and highlight and underline and circle things, because it's just incredible. And I've been getting so much inspiration, especially during this season that I've been in. So it's just been really, really good. So those are the things I've been prioritizing. And as far as sleep goes, I've been trying to be in bed between 9 and 9:30 every single night. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes I, go to bed more closer to 9:45. But I've been really prioritizing getting in bed early, reading a few chapters in my book, letting myself get tired. I usually drink sleepy time tea every single night, but I've been kind of trying to not do that every single night, because I just want my body to do things naturally and not have to be aided to sleep, because when I don't have those things, I want to be able to sleep. So I've been maybe only drinking sleepy time tea once or twice a week, just because I like it and I like to drink something warm. But I've also been trying not to drink so much before I go to bed, because I'm not normally this person, but I've having to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I normally don't do that. I can normally go to sleep and then I don't have to pee until I wake up in the morning. But for the past few weeks, I noticed that like I was waking up at like 1, or 2, sometimes maybe 3, and with like this excruciating pain to have to go to the bathroom. So I've been like, okay, if I am not gonna if I don't want to have to be doing this, then I'm going to have to stop drinking so much liquids like before I go to bed, which is like duh. But it never was a thing for me before. And I guess it's because I'm getting up there. I'm turning 30 this year. Maybe my body's starting to fall apart. So the decline begins. But those are some of the things that I've been working on lately. And I feel like it's been really helpful. I feel like I have more energy. I actually really look forward to going on the walk in the morning. And of course the dogs do as well. Like they love it. So it's been good. Sleep and steps, like that's been my new focus and my new priority right now. As far as like everything else, like I said, it's pretty much rock solid, on a few things, or maybe like rock soft, like soft rock, but like hard rock. I don't really know. It's like hard, but also squishy. Like, I don't know. That's kind of on a lot of things. So these challenges were a little bit, they seem like little things, but I'm really interested to see how like recovery and body composition goes from me prioritizing these things. And then I'm thinking maybe in like a month or so, I might do some kind of cut, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of, like I said, this week was like the first week that I felt good. So I don't want to be like, I feel great, let's go. Like, I'm like, okay, I feel great. We're going to keep working on some things and keep feeling great. And then when we're ready, we'll take the next step and level up a little bit. So anyways, today, I want to talk about seasons of healing. Maybe you're going through a healing season of the heart, of the mind, or physically. I want to help encourage you and share some of the things that have really helped me when I've gone through all three, sometimes at the same time, especially if you're going through physical healing, like the way that your mind can trick you and screw around in your head with your capabilities and stuff, like you can kind of go through that at the same time. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to start with the term self-care. It's been around for years, right? It's not a new concept. Everybody talks about self-care. It's not just a 2020 post-pandemic phenomenon. This has been around forever. But I want to put that term in a new light because I feel like we tend to get overwhelmed thinking that self-care means getting your hair done and your nails done and spa days, massages, face masks, all that jazz. And while that stuff is nice and truly well-deserved, like I hope that you get massages and get your nails done and get your hair done. Like I hope that you do all that, I hope that you Lizzo that up. But it's not really self-care. You don't get your nails done every day. You don't get your hair done every day. You're not at the spa every day. You don't do face masks every single day. Those are once a month, quarter, whatever works for your time and budget. Those are sometimes things. Self-care is knowing how to love yourself well and keeping these things in mind. Self-care looks like an oxygen mask, not a blindfold. Self-care is taking good care of yourself and not expecting or wanting for others to do it for you. Self-care is taking ownership of what you need to be healthy. And while this might seem selfish, it's not self-centered. There's a difference. Taking ownership of your self-care will look like setting healthy boundaries for yourself and protecting your property, but it could also look like this. Daily prayer and gratitude. Y'all are not surprised that I'm talking about that because I forever will. Making your favorite cup of coffee every morning. Getting daily movement in, whether that's you go to the gym and you do your workouts or you just go for a walk or you do yoga, whatever that looks like, get it in daily. A counseling appointment or a call to like a trusted friend, supportive family member, something like that. And even more simple than that, a nap. Just take a nap if you're stressed, right? Nap it away. No, just nap or even just committing to drink more water. Like those are just little tiny things that seem like, oh, that's so insignificant. What is gratitude going to do? What is prayer going to do? What is my favorite cup of coffee going to do for me? But it's just those little things that will just give you that boost. I'm telling y'all, I will swear, I will take it to my grave and then come and haunt you after and tell you to practice gratitude in daily prayer. I've actually been, some of you that follow my personal Instagram, I've been following with Janine Amapola. She's like one of my favorite Christian influencers. I love her and her style and just her message and just everything. I really resonate with her brand. And she's been doing since January 1, a book in the Bible a month that matches with the amount of chapters that there are in the month. So this month was the first month that I was actually able to catch up on it because I saw her post about it towards the end of February, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna do it. I've been wanting to do it, so I'm gonna do it this month. And this month of March is Proverbs. And there's been a couple days where like I've had to read 2 chapters in a day because I didn't get to it because I was out of town or whatever the case was. But I will say like it has been really cool. I've read like front to back of like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, from Bible studies that I've done and going to Catholic school my whole life. But as far as like reading a full book of the Bible, especially one in the Old Testament, I have not ever done that. And it has been super, especially this book, like Proverbs just has so much just so much in it that is just awesome. I mean, I'm telling y'all, like I've been highlighting so much. I'm like, man, I can't highlight this whole verse or this whole chapter, like goodness. But there's just been so many nuggets in there that has been awesome. And it's really shifting my perspectives. I'm not just reading the chapter. I've also been going to Bible Ref and like reading like some insight on what the chapter means, because obviously like when you read the Bible, sometimes you're like, you read things, you're like, what does that mean? I don't get it. Okay. Holy Spirit, please translate for me. But like it's been really insightful. I've been, like I said, highlighting a lot, thinking about a lot, just really resonating and meditating on a lot. So it's been good. So anyways, while we go through our seasons of healing, our self-care needs to be loving yourself so well first that then you can love others. And every season, truthfully, but especially this one, like we need to be loving ourselves before we can pour and give to somebody else. And healing seasons are not crystals and unicorns and rainbows and all of this enlightenment. Now, although you may experience some of that along the way, it is so ugly. Oh my God. Because you're opening up these wounds that never healed properly in order to give yourself the opportunity to finally heal them properly, not just cover it up with a Band-Aid and hope for the best while it festers away, So it's really, really, really getting to know yourself and getting to know those weaknesses and in those scars that you need to heal and healing them properly, and then going about life with a better perspective, a stronger mindset. So I'm going to close off. I'm trying to keep this one short this week, but I'm closing off with sharing a Bible verse that have been really helping me through my healing journey from Proverbs. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So for me, that verse right there really says that if we are trying to make ourselves joyful in all things, even, finding the bright spots in every situation that we're in, it's good medicine. So if you're hurting physically, if you're going through a physical healing, season, being joyful about the fact that maybe you had a surgery. Okay, yeah, that sucks. And you have like some setbacks and you have to restart some things. Or even if it's just a small procedure and, maybe you're not able to do a competition the way that you want to do it because you have to scale because of the healing process of whatever procedure you had. But the bright spot is that it got fixed. And hopefully you won't have any issues in the future, but it got fixed and it's healing. And now when you come back, if you keep that joyful mindset and that joyful heart, you're going to come back even stronger, and it's going to make you even better. And not just physically, but mentally as well. So keeping that joyful heart, finding those bright spirits is going to be the best medicine for you in your healing season. But if you are defeated and you talk down to yourself and negatively about the situation and you're feeling like awful about things, or, putting so much pressure on yourself to be where you're not ahead of time, then it's gonna curl you up. You're gonna be upset. It's just gonna make everything negative. It's not going to heal you in any way. So it's just gonna hurt you. So try to keep that joyful heart. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So whatever season you're going through, you got this, friend. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Beyond Broken Hungry. If you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to Beyond Broken Hungry wherever you get your podcast so you can get notified every time a new episode drops. It would also mean the world to me if you rate, review, and share the podcast too, so more people can join the BBH tribe. Follow this podcast on social media at Beyond Broken Hungry to interact and see how I'm stumbling toward wellness one day at a time.